We've been working on the show for about a couple months. We've been in collaboration with students from Carnegie Mellon, from Cincinnati Conservatory, from Interlochen Arts Academy.
It started off as sort of this therapist drama, and now it's into sort of investigating the mind of a killer.
And we're taking that on an international tour to Chicago, Colorado, and then Canada.
Of course, Google Hangout. All those people's icons flowing everywhere. It's like, yeah, I don't know who they are.
Everything just began to work so much quicker than it did on the internet.
Let's get started.
Walking into rehearsal every day is an experience in itself.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We'd rehearse from like 1 to 6, so 5 hours a day, and we'd have like blocks of time where we'd generate a chunk of the show. We sort of had it broken down into chapters and then, acts, and then chapters under that.
We made a lot of discoveries, and we made the first draft of the show, which was insane.
In only a week, we created 50 minutes of a show because everyone was going yes and everyone was jumping at opportunities just to, keep furthering the process and furthering this experience for us.
I think that this is great because it really is like these, we really are making a show in chunks, and then I think it's sort of thrilling. Like, I feel really thrilled getting to see it, go.
So we're all like huffing and puffing, we're sweating, and then we wrap up super tightly in these blankets.
Oh, I was born ready to be a cocoon.
I sort of have a really intense fear of being buried alive, and it was really cool to be able to use that directly to affect my work in a way that I never thought it would.
I'm in love with the limp duet. I just let my ensemble move me around, which is great and really fun to just trust them and let them pick me up and turn me over. And
So like once upon a time, I'm 9 years old and I'm playing night games in my cul-de-sac.
Honestly, my favorite moment that has happened in rehearsal yet has been when the first time we attempted to make the last piece of the show.
It was a really sad ending to a story, and I lifted the sheet and I saw Travis's face, and Travis just smiled at me, and we both like felt everything at the same time. I can't really explain it.
It's the most rewarding part of any rehearsal is when you can fully open up to your fellow cast members like that and fully trust that they'll take care of you.
One of the most important parts of directing is just the care you take for the specific group. I work really hard to keep people in my company safe, to make sure that, if you're creating something, if you're bringing yourself to the work, if you're expressing yourself, or if you're taking a risk, you don't feel unsupported.
And so I would love if this whole journey is like going and it starts off with this cradle, it starts off with intimacy, but then it can burst and then it can go and flow, and then finally it ends up just being simple.
Maybe the hardest part of being a director is just being able to trust the people that are working with you.
I guess for the rest of the summer, I look forward to more synergy between different people and different types of minds as we all work on our own parts of the project.
Sean Sutton is my managing director.
I help with Joe, and I assist in all the things with the business so that Joe can focus on everything as a whole, and my particular focus is just on the business side, and I'm also an actor in the show.
So him and I know equal amounts on business, but he's the one who's really doing everything. Michael James is my production stage manager, along with being a designer.
It's been really kind of fun to have all the different types of design kind of meld together, and then soon we'll be kind of getting into more costume things. Since we're all living together, we're able to talk on a daily basis about ideas.
Yeah, I think I still want.
He really gets shit done. I'm super impressed with his work ethic. And he's also designing a ton. He's really overseeing the whole design components of the show. Then we have Jordan Suture, who is one of the media managers and on the media team, and so he's teaching the film class, and he's also making the documentary with Mida, who's teaching the class with him and making the documentary. And then on top of that, both of them are responsible for sort of coordinating the media design. Actually, that's wild to me to think that they're tackling so much.
There will be tons of deadlines coming up, and I think under such pressure, it will be a good pressure for me to learn lots of new stuff.
There's Chris Barrett, and he's really the tech director and lighting designer of the show. He is killing it, and so he's super good at just planning out. He's basically he's engineering the set.
Right now I'm cutting all the lumber for all the flats for our projection surfaces for our show.
I was in high school when high school shootings were happening. I was too young for high school when Columbine happened.
It's very common these days, like all these mass shootings. I mean,
If enough people are doing it, there's something that I'm missing. There's some thread that needs to be explored.
It's very easy to dismiss them as monsters.
It's sort of crazy, but it's I really love that we can talk about this.
It's really the voices of our generation that need to be heard on this topic, and I'm not gonna wait until we're 30 and people will talk about it. I'm gonna do it now.
the show itself is just going to touch people on a level that like they don't think about deeply.
Aesthetically, it's like fucking rad. Like, it looks so cool, and it's going to look even cooler when we have like media and the set and everything together.
The way that the projection is interacting with the people is really interesting, and I'm really excited by the shadows that are happening, and I'm really excited by the camera feed and by people being in control of the camera. I really love when people can like move the camera and change what the audience is seeing. There's something in me that's telling me that this is a different project than other people have made before. And so that's really nerve-wracking as a director, I guess. I'm like, it's very nerve-wracking.
I'm never gonna forget like when I sat down at rehearsal 1 o'clock expecting something and then completely getting something completely different. And I think that's what's so great about this opportunity is it's so different.
I've never worked on a project like this before. It's very exciting because I'm pushing myself to places I would never push myself in like a non-surrealist kind of world.
I think it's definitely on its way to being very cohesive and different every day, every week.
Think about it this way, like by the end of the summer, we will all be so much more competent at what we do.
Theater is a place for people to come together and to experience something. And, you know, this experience won't last forever. It's only lasting for 2 months, but I'm excited to take this ride and to dive headfirst into the water and see where it takes me.